Today is April 21st, and we have joined forces with the weed science crew. Hi, Barb! To plant sweet corn on black plastic. So they've got a herbicide trial here, and we want to get our sweet corn silking right around the first couple weeks of June. So that way we get the early season earworm flight. Our insecticide trials over the last few years have suggested that the early season moths are susceptible or more susceptible to pyrethroids, and I've never been able to test it. So let's take a look and see how Nick is doing this. That planter is not punching seed into the slots at the right depth that Weed Science wants, so we're coming in by hand. Things we do for research around here. Nick, you having fun?
Oh yeah, always.
Been out here about 10-15 minutes, got a third of a plot done. But with 8 of us, should go pretty well.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Drip tape is centered, double row, 6 inches apart.
So on this planter, these bars on either side of the wheel are 4 inches from where the spikes go in. So if you want your holes 4 inches from a point, if you line these bars up with the, say, the drip tape, and the holes will go in 4 inches away.
Nice.
Last thing we want to do is punch a hole in our drip tape for obvious reasons. We'll let the foxes do that instead.
Very careful.
Beautiful.
Barb, what are y'all doing here? What are y'all testing?
So we've got treatments under the plastic. We've got dual, 2 magnum. We've got 2 rates of Zidua. We've got Callisto, and we are comparing that to an untreated check to see if we get injury and if we get good weed control under the plastic.
Now, both Callisto and Dual are labeled on sweet corn.
Yes.
Is that labeled on plastic, or is that just bare ground or pre-plant incorporated?
So I don't think too many people have worked with plastic and putting their treatments under the plastic.
Okay.
So we're going to see how that turns out.
So it'll change how that herbicide interacts with the soil, the weeds, and the plant.
And the drip tape, how far we get our water from the drip tape and the rows of the sweet corn.
Fun, fun. We're in a field of orchard grass with Jason Torrey. Was called about this field. It's got some of these necrotic tips all over the field. And we had a freeze about 2 weeks ago and a frost about a week and a half ago. But when the county agent came out here last evening, there was winter grain mite everywhere. So did winter grain mite do this too? This is where I really have no experience and no idea. Winter grain mites and aphids can put a hurting on orchard grass. There are aphids out here. I don't see heavy populations. A few years ago, Maryland had some fields that were almost killed by green bug. Also got some sort of disease going on here. Again, this is out of my area of expertise. But what I wanted to talk about was winter grain mite. They should be cycling out now. Winter grain mite hides during the daytime. They don't like sunlight. They come out at night or on cloudy days. So if we're going to find any, they're going to be down here on the soil surface They're going to be really small. Yeah, there's one. Right by my fingertip. And I know that's not going to show up on the cell phone. But right by my fingertip, there's one moving around. They're black with red legs. I guess it would help if the phone wasn't focusing on grass blades. And here's another one. Right there. Let's see. Yeah, you can. Yeah, that one's showing up. Was. So UD has a fact sheet Joanne Whalen wrote using some information from Virginia Tech on winter grain mite. Other thing I want to point out on this field is we've got these streaks. Got the straight line streak where it's pale over here and darker green over there, which just screams nutrient problems. Some sort of soil chemistry issue. Tissue test and a soil test should go a pretty good ways to diagnosing a lot of the stress out here. And I will leave it to our county agent on the disease side. If they were to come out here with a fungicide, might not hurt to tank mix something. But like I said, winter grain mite should be cycling out. They don't like hot weather. They're a cool season pest. Well, this afternoon, Tori and Jace are with me. We are in a field of alfalfa, collecting up our late larvae. Up north, alfalfa weevil is generally thought to be well controlled by parasitic wasps. And down here in Delaware and southern Maryland, we get ferocious alfalfa weevil populations. I suspect that those wasps are active later in the spring, well after the overwintered eggs have hatched and have already done a lot of feeding damage. Tori, how many sweeps was that?
Like 10.
What do you got? Let's see what you have. P aphid. Now the thresholds for alfalfa weevil are not based on sweep net captures, but we're just trying to collect larvae fairly quickly and easily, and that's what sweep nets do well. So we got quite a handful in there. I don't see any wasps though. Alfalfa weevil is also one of the few insects that I know that'll tell on you if an application isn't put out very uniformly. We got this streak of yellow, silvered, white eaten up plants next to plants that are growing out of some alfalfa weevil injury. We come across about 35-40 feet, and we've got another streak. And that streak is about 3 feet wide. I don't know too many other insects that'll tell on you like that. Makes it something interesting to work on early in the season. So previously we had Tori sweeping 10 sweeps in the area that got sprayed. This is 10 sweeps in the area that didn't get sprayed. And that is all alfalfa weevil larvae and some cocoons, some parasitoid cocoons. There's a couple of these little brownish balls with white stripes on them. Those are parasitoid cocoons that have emerged out of the alfalfa weevil. That's quite a few weevil larvae.